Senior KwaZulu-Natal police officials maintain that suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya's alleged associate, Stuart Sharnick, is linked to 29 criminal cases in the province alone. This is despite the Durban businessman opening a fraud and defamation case against crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo, accusing him of lying under oath at the Madlanga Commission. Shanik disputes Khumalo's testimony that he was found guilty on 18 charges. Take a listen.
10 of these 29 dockets where part of that plea was related to theft of motor vehicle. The cover of the docket, the charge, the vehicle involved, it's a vehicle, it's a theft of motor vehicle. 8 of these 29 cases that I'm referring to were cases of carjacking. During the month of January this year, we went into the system to do an audit of this part of his information. In our course of doing this preliminary investigation, on the 16th of January, at 16:58 in the afternoon of that day, a particular employee of the South African Police Services went into the criminal record system and made some adjustments to the benefit of Mr. Stuart Sharnick. That's why Mr. Sharnick is so confident to say there'll be nothing on the system. Unfortunately, the particular employee doesn't understand the full extent of auditing side of the back end of systems. And on the back end of systems, the transactions which he deleted reflects and remains on the back end of the system.
All right, and Stuart Sharnick is in studio with us once again this evening to respond to the latest claims coming out of KwaZulu-Natal Police Headquarters. Mr. Sharnick, good to have you back. Let's go straight into it. The police in KZN are saying you are linked to 29 separate cases. 18 of those you were convicted on. Do you still maintain that there's only one case that was ever dealt with in your name?
Well, good evening to you, Xoli, and the viewers at home. I think for me, today was an aha moment, because what actually was said by the Major General is that the 18 cases were taken as one. And that's the subject of investigation, as to find out why were all the 18 cases put into one case. Meaning you can only have one conviction for the 18 cases, all transferred into one matter. As I've said before, and I maintain again, I have never been charged, or I've been charged, but I've never been convicted of hijacking. And today, Major General Gopal comes out publicly in a damage control type setting to try and change the narrative that I was correct from my initial onset when I said all 18 cases form one case with 18 charges. And for that, I was given a 5-year suspended sentence, which has been served out. And he's incorrect when he says it was a fine. It actually was funds paid to what's known as KARA, which is a fund that the DPP sets up for victims of crimes.
There is one small detail that you are leaving out, which the General said, and that is that there is a member of staff within the police that went into their system in order, he didn't put it in these words, but in order to almost play with the system to consolidate these cases to make it look like it is one case. Do you have someone inside the South African Police Service who could have done this on your behalf?
On the contrary, Xoli, what he was trying to do is to try and fool the nation into believing And on that point, he wasn't speaking about the 18 cases turned into one. He was talking about matters being deleted from the local criminal records center. So it's two separate matters. So the fact that it was 18 cases transferred into one and one sentence given, he conceded. And he actually said they're now writing to the NDPP to start reviewing that matter to see how did this occur, which is a foolish exercise in any event, which we're not worried about. Because you must remember, in a 105A plea and sentence agreement, you find the NDPP's people who are appointed in the province sitting down with the prosecution team. They then sit down with the investigating officers. They also sit down with my legal team, which was a senior advocate at that time. There were more than 6 people applying their minds to the matter. Then it's still referred to a magistrate, Xoli, and the magistrate then applies his mind before he actually agrees with the plea and sentence agreement. So what Major General Gopal was actually saying today, you must investigate the magistrate, investigate the prosecutor, investigate the public prosecutor of the province of KZN, investigate the cops that were involved in the matter, which is a ludicrous notion. That is simply a person demonstrating how weak and frivolous his allegations were since day one, and it's damage control because they know that the fraud case against Dumisani Khumalo sticks. What was portrayed at the Madlanga Commission was 34 cases in total, 18 cases, and he said multiple hijacking convictions. Not one conviction of hijacking was on my conviction today.
Let's talk about another element or aspect of what he told the nation today, and that is that part of these cases are due to hijackings. Hijackings where there is force. People are intimidated and assaulted. Are you a hijacker?
It's actually hilarious, Xoli. You know, when a person portrays one part of the story and not the other, it shows you that there's an intentional misconception that he's trying to portray. I have never been convicted in hijacking in my life. And he himself is saying that. He said that my plea and sentence agreement was of a lesser verdict and I got away with a slap on the wrist, which is his opinion, but not the opinion of the judiciary. And he actually brings the judiciary's credibility into disrepute by making those remarks. I will say it again on air one more time, Xoli. I have never been convicted of hijacking in my life. Hence, I've opened these charges against Lieutenant General Khumalo.
Make us understand why the need for guns. How many guns do you have?
I do own 5 firearms.
What kind of firearms are they?
I own handguns, rifles, and long-range rifles.
What is the purpose for this?
I hunt. I'm part of the South African Hunters Guild, and I'm a sport shooter. I shoot in clubs, club shoots. I'm an avid gun fan. I'm extremely well trained when it comes down to firearms, and I enjoy the outdoor life.
Was there ever a point where you were denied a license for any of these firearms?
100%. And that comes from the point in time when I was attending my cases. So while you are attending a pending case, it makes no sense for the firearm control officer to issue you with the competency while you are currently attending a case.
But why would there be a denial of a firearm to you if the case that you are attending has no connection whatsoever to you threatening people's lives?
It's just part of the process, Xoli. Whenever there's cases that are ongoing, it's within the firearm controls officer's decision for him to process your application or not. And in this instance, I might add, I was called by one of the firearms controls officers who actually said, Mr. Sharnick, it would be better for you to withdraw your application as you're wasting time and money until your cases are concluded. Once your cases are concluded, you may then reapply and we will reassess your application, which I've done so once my cases were complete. And the cases that I was found guilty on, the one case, is actually of a very minor offense. Hence, I was able to get my firearm licenses under Section 16 application.
General Gopal describes you as a spotter, as you, at certain instances, we see you in camera, you're standing behind General Shadrack Sibiya, and he describes you as a spotter. Why would he ascribe that particular description to what he thinks you do for Sibiya?
It's always shocking to see old members of SAPS lie like children. You know, I'm not in the security industry. He's confirmed that himself, he conceded. For somebody to make an allegation and simply go out there with baseless points to say he's a spotter, he was brandishing a firearm, without understanding the factual context of what's taking place.
What would have been the context? Because at some point you are carrying a very serious firearm, a rifle.
Are you talking about the instance that he portrayed with the video?
Indeed.
If you look at that video, we are surrounded by gentlemen carrying firearms, one in particular carrying a rifle. And if you are transporting a firearm with the Firearms Control Act, you are not allowed to leave your firearm in a vehicle. Hence, even if you listen to the video recording, he says to me, put your firearm in the vehicle. And I say to him, it's against the regulations to leave my firearm unattended in a vehicle. Now you have to put the matter into context before you take one picture and base a story on your imagination. And Major General Gopal knows that. But clearly he's grasping at straws. They are shaken by the fact that they probably gave the incorrect information to Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, and that's why he took it upon himself to do damage control. I'm not sure why Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo didn't come out and simply apologize.
Let me ask you this way. So you're saying that there is no contravention of the law for you to brandish a firearm, a heavy assault rifle like that. And this is a very important element because you're surrounded by law enforcement and there is an exchange. I did listen to it because at some point they're saying, why do you think we shouldn't carry firearms? These are police officers. If you look back at the case of the EFF leader, Julius Malema, he shoots a gun up in the sky. He has since been found guilty for that. Yes, he's going to appeal, but it tells you about brandishing a firearm in public because that could amount to public endangerment. Once again, are you saying that you are allowed to do what you did there?
In fact, let me just correct you on 2 points.
Yeah.
Number one, that is not a rifle. That was a shotgun, number one. And number two, I was not surrounded by police officers. Those are traffic cops. And if you understand the context of what was taking place, it would be more incorrect for me to leave my firearm inside a vehicle unattended than have my firearm on my persons. So there are strict regulations around carrying a firearm, particularly if you have a license. Now, I'm a license holder, unlike Julius Malema. So you can't make the comparison of somebody who is illegally brandishing a firearm and shooting in public versus a license holder protecting his own firearm rather than leaving it inside a vehicle.
Yeah. All right. As we wind down this conversation, talk to us about your links in KZN. Do you know any high-profile people in that province? Because what's being painted today in the public's mind is that the reason you could even have people trying to interfere with the system in order to tamper with your record within the South African Police Service is to try to protect you. And that's the basis of this question. Do you know any high-profile people in that province, whether it be a senior police official or even a politician?
Excuse me. Xoli, I'm glad you asked me that question. And I want to put it this way, but I want to deal with this point of the LCRC first, as you asked earlier, but we didn't get to that point. The LCRC, the Local Criminal Record Center, has police members that are in control of that facility. And there's an expungement process which we are allowed to embark on once you've reached a threshold of 10 years since a crime has been committed. Now, what Major General Gopal conveniently forgot to tell the nation is that I've had 2 applications approved, and the system had to be updated. And I have proof of the letters and my application that I submitted and I was granted. So for him to make a frivolous allegation against his colleagues is scary, that South African citizens must watch this take place to protect a lie. I wear this shirt this evening because I like it. You'd find some South Africans making the allegation that I'm part of a cartel because I wear a specific type of shirt. I wish the allegation that Major Gopal said today was true, that I can control magistrates, cops, lawyers, prosecutors, LCRC, control the whole country. It's a blatant lie and it's not true. And what it does is it tarnishes the credibility of SAPS's independence, it tarnishes the independence of the judicial system, and it tarnishes the integrity of the NPA. So what he's saying is extremely dangerous allegations with no proof whatsoever, Xoli.
Mr. Sharnick, I'm running out of time. You still haven't answered my question.
Yes.
Do you know any high-profile people, whether in the police service or in the political space, that could help you with interfering in the system of the police?
That's a very simple answer, and the answer is no. He's confirmed in KZN. He does not know of me knowing anybody in KZN in the top management structures. I only know the people that I have mentioned previously, like General Shadrack Sibiya, like General Khumalo, and like General Masimula. I've been open about these matters, and all 3 of them I still hold in extremely high esteem, and I know General Khumalo wouldn't interfere in any cases to help me in particular. I know that General Shadrack Sibiya has never helped me and will never help me commit crimes within the SAP space, and neither has General Fani Masimula helped me with anything like that.
When you were based in KZN, I don't know where you're based now. I suspect you wouldn't answer that because of security reasons.
Not at all. I'm based in Gauteng.
Okay.
Yes.
When you were based in KZN, where exactly in KZN did you live?
I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm from Richards Bay. Richards Bay needs a spotlight shone on it with all the killings. We've got 150 cold case killings. General Khumalo is aware of that. Lieutenant General Sibiya is aware of that. And I'm sure the province is aware of that. And if Major General Gopal doesn't have enough work, he should come and check out those murder cases, as well as the extrajudicial killing of children in our province, as well as Peter Maritzburg with another 170 cold murder cases.
Richards Bay is not too far from Mpangeni.
Yes.
We know today, through Mr. Ngabinde's testimony, that that is where the current Minister of Police, who's on suspension, also has a home. Have you ever been to his home?
Never. I know of him, as he's extremely popular in our area for his political standpoint and what he's done in the area. His wife is also well known in our area. She was a district mayor at some point. And we have a number of politicians from that area, that region, whom we know of, but I don't know them where I can sit with them and tell them to hide some of my criminal records or hide a criminal case or anything of that sort. I mean, that's just a baseless allegation. So we know of them, but we don't know them, Xoli, as friends.
Nor the children?
Nor the children, not at all. Never met his children in my life.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Stuart Sharnick.